Hey guys, welcome back to JB's Guide to Ancient Greece. Today we're gonna talk about some Greek philosophizers. Philosophizers? Philosophers? Falafel? I don't know. We'll see. I got the yellow book today, and I got to go to the blue book too, because Mr. Boyd said there's information in both of these I need to look at. So, early Greek philosophers focused on the development of rational thought. They were trying to come up with a system of thinking to explain the universe. Explain the universe? It's just there. How do you explain it? Several important philosophers taught in Athens. Oh, I know this guy, Socrates. He was in my favorite movie, Bill and Ted. Socrates, he taught people how to think and figure things out by asking questions. They called it the Socratic method. Sometimes he disagreed with the rulers or doubted the existence of the gods, and eventually he was executed by being made to drink hemlock, a poison. That's a bad way to go. Plato, that's that stuff we use in class all the time. Who's this guy named Plato? Did he invent it? He studied under Socrates, wrote a book called The Republic. Believed society should be divided into three groups: workers, soldiers, and philosopher rulers. Of course, he thought they should be rulers because he was one of them. He taught his students how to live by a code of ethics that would lead them to moral, happy lives. Plato wrote down everything. Socrates didn't write down nothing. He just talked about it a lot. Plato did reality, objects, war, government, justice, and society. Yeah, you can make just about anything with Plato, can't you? He founded and taught at an Athenian school called the Academy, where they train government leaders. And it says Aristotle studied under Plato. All these people learn from each other. Aristotle believed people's happiness was connected to their behavior. Well, I know when I'm having fun, I'm happy. He also worked to define categories of logic, biology, and physics. He was fascinated by nature, and he classified plants and animals in a scientific method. That's the foundation of the method used today. He wrote about politics too. His ideas were different from Plato's. Aristotle thought there were three good forms of government: monarchy, aristocracy, and a sort of democracy. Aristotle founded his own school called the Lyceum, and he tutored the famous conqueror Alexander the Great. Wonder what was so great about him. It says that the Greeks were artists and architects and sculptors. That there were three major Greek playwrights, and they were Sophocles, and Euripides. Well, I don't know about all of these. Well, all of them were a big deal, apparently, and their plays are still read and performed today. It says that there were epic poems. Aren't all poems epic? Does that mean the guys that made Fortnite made it? Does an epic poem come from epic games? It says that during the Dark Ages, the work of Homer, here we go again, Homer Simpson, he wrote the Odyssey and the Iliad, and that they're hundreds of pages long. That's a long poem. They teach about courage and honor and the gods. It says people called orators would memorize these. That'd take a lot of work and perform them as part of the Olympics. The concept of the Greek hero owes a great deal to Homer, it says. Well, I didn't think Homer Simpson was much of a hero, but I guess he could be. And it says architecture was big. They built a big temple, a great temple in Athena, or temple of Athena, the Greek goddess, called the Parthenon, and that the ruins are still standing today. It was dedicated to Athena and the Athenians, the people from Athens. It says that Pericles was the leader when they built it. It said it was damaged by an explosion in 1687 CE, but its ruins remain on the hilltops of Athens to this day. Wow, that's a lot of information. Let's look at the blue book and see what it says. Okay, we talked about Socrates and we talked about Plato. We talked about Aristotle. We did all that. The literature. Oh, it says they passed down literature through oral tradition. People memorized it and they just said it. They didn't have it written down. We talked about Homer and the Iliad and the Odyssey, and the Trojan Wars were part of that story. And then, it says the Parthenon was built on something called an Acropolis. An Acropolis is a hill in Athens where over 1 million tourists flock to view every day. Said it was their political and religious center. Oh, and it mentioned some playwrights. Oh, yeah, we mentioned these. This was Isocles, Sophocles, and Euripides. They had funny names. They believed in something called catharsis, which was the release of strong emotions. And they wrote a bunch of tragedies. You know what? I think it's a tragedy they wound up with them names they had. That's all about that one. So I'll see you guys tomorrow and we can discuss some more of these. I wonder who the builder was on the Parthenon.